Hi there, it's Jermaine from livewellzone.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you 7 important things that you should be aware of before taking inositol for PCOS. Now, inositol acts as an insulin sensitizer, and all that means is that it helps to improve the body's response to insulin. As a result of doing this, inositol could be helpful for ovarian function and reproductive health, as well as with improving blood sugar levels. Now, in addition to this, inositol also improves or helps to balance brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. So as a result of that, it could also be helpful if you're struggling with mood swings or anxiety, for example. Now, the first thing that you should know when it comes to inositol is that it is a carbohydrate. More specifically, it's a sugar alcohol, and that puts it in the same general family as things like xylitol and sorbitol. Okay, so inositol is a sugar alcohol that also happens to have antioxidant properties. All right, and our bodies can make inositol from the glucose that comes from our food. And interestingly enough, the chemical structure of inositol happens to be similar to the chemical structure of glucose as well. Now, the second thing that you should know when it comes to inositol is that there are actually 9 different types, but for PCOS, there are really only 2 that are most relevant, and those 2 are myo-inositol and D-chiro-inositol, right? And the body, different parts of the body have different needs for those inositols. So for example, the ovaries need higher amounts of myo-inositol for the maturation of eggs, while the liver, which is also another important organ when we're talking about hormones and detoxification, the liver needs more of D-chiro-inositol, all right? But overall in the body, there is a higher abundance of myo-inositol. The third thing you should be aware of is that both myo and D-chiro-inositol act as secondary messengers for other hormones. So what this means is that they have the ability to regulate the function of other hormones. And here we're talking about hormones like insulin, follicle stimulating hormone, as well as thyroid hormones. Okay. The fourth thing you should be aware of when it comes to inositol is that research indicates that the ideal ratio is a 40-to-1 ratio. So if you're supplementing with this, that would basically be the equivalent of 2,000 milligrams of myo for every 50 milligrams of D-chiro. So whether you're taking those supplements individually or you're buying a combination supplement, that 40-to-1 ratio seems to be what research shows as ideal for supporting the body and for helping with PCOS symptoms. Now, the fifth thing to be aware of when it comes to inositol is side effects when you're supplementing. So generally speaking, most of the side effects that you might experience will be gastrointestinal related. So we're talking about things like gas, nausea, or diarrhea, for example. And in addition, if you're taking a separate D-chiro supplement, then you definitely want to be really mindful of how much of it you're taking, because taking too much D-chiro can create issues when it comes to aromatase. So aromatase is an enzyme in the body that facilitates the conversion of androgens to estrogen. Now, as women, we need less androgens and more estrogen. So we want to make sure that that conversion of androgens to estrogen is working properly. If you take too much D-chiro, it can inhibit aromatase from doing its work properly, which can then create issues and could potentially artificially raise your androgen levels. So do keep that in mind. Number 6 on our list is how long to take inositol for. So up until this point, the research that has been done on inositol has really studied supplementation for a year or less. So it is really unclear whether it's safe to take long term or whether it is safe to rely on this for the rest of your life. Okay, so this now brings me to my 7th point, which is the fact that there is inositol in abundance in our food supply. So whether or not you choose to supplement with inositol, given the fact that it's not clear whether you could stay on it for life, it's still a good idea to make sure that you're getting enough inositol from your diet. Now, as far as which foods have inositol, basically all whole foods have them. So whether it's nuts and fruits, veggies, grains, seeds, legumes, they all have inositol. Now, I did come across one study that looked exclusively at myo-inositol, and they looked at 487 different foods. And what they found is that everything but veggies has a higher concentration of myo. So it's not to say that veggies don't have any at all, but if you're looking for the foods that have more of that myo-inositol, which seems to be what is more helpful for PCOS, then you definitely want to make sure that you're consuming enough legumes, as well as your fruits and your grains and your nuts and all of that. Beans in particular are a really good source of inositol, and in addition, they're a great source of fiber and a great source of protein. So definitely that's one category of food to add to your diet. Now, overall, if we're just talking about inositol, there's lots of other foods that have them. Okay, so citrus fruits, except for lemons, fruits like cantaloupe, oatmeal, those are all good sources of inositol. I'm going to put a list of other foods that are good sources of inositol as a whole, so again, you know exactly which things to start adding into your diet. And while we're on the subject of food, I know it can be a little frustrating at times and overwhelming to make these dietary changes and to know exactly what to incorporate into your diet. So that's why I've put together two different resources to help you. Okay, so these are both 28-day programs, but they are different in terms of your personal preference and your intent. Okay, so the first one is a 28-day hormone balance jumpstart. Okay, this comes with recipes. There's 30 recipes in there. They're all quick meals. They're ready in 30 minutes or less. You get a complete meal planning guide, as well as a grocery shopping template, a meal planner template, and lots of other goodies to basically make life easy for you. And the goal of this hormone balance jumpstart is exactly what's in the name. It's to help you kind of just jumpstart or kickstart these new eating habits. Okay, so you don't have to change your diet overnight. It is not an intense detox of any sort. It is basically 4 weeks, and in those 4 weeks, I walk you through which foods to progressively and steadily incorporate into your diet, so that by the end of those 28 days, you've developed healthier habits and you've incorporated more healthy foods into your existing diet. All right, so if you want to take things at a slower pace and you don't want to change all your foods overnight, that 28-day jumpstart is perfect for you. On the other hand, if you're somebody who is ready to go and you're willing to make those overnight changes, then I also have a 28-day detox and reset program. That program, again, also comes with recipes. You get a pre-made shopping list, so every week you don't even have to think about what you need to go buy as far as food. You've got the meal planning guide in there, and again, other tools to help you move forward. So that one is more of a detox for sure, and it's for the person, like I said, who's just ready to go and wants to start seeing those results faster. So I will make sure to place links to both of those resources below this video so that you can check them out for yourself and you can choose the one that makes the most sense for your lifestyle. Now, before I wrap up this video, I do want to emphasize that the information I have shared here is general. This is based on just publicly available data, okay? But your own specific needs for inositol might be different. So it may be that you in fact need both types of inositol, or it may be that you need basically only one, but that is something that you need to work on or work with your doctor on, so that you can figure out exactly what is ideal for you, because every person's body is different. Just because two people have a PCOS diagnosis does not necessarily mean that they both need the same supplement or in the same exact amounts, especially when it comes to something like inositol. So again, if you're getting it from your foods, that's coming in the whole food scenario, that's a little different. But when we're talking about supplementing, you really want to nail it down and work with your healthcare provider to give you a customized solution for you. And if you are taking any other drugs or any other supplements, again, work with your healthcare provider to make sure there will not be any negative interactions between inositol and those other items. So on that note, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and of course make sure to share it with anybody else that would benefit from this information. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.